Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Hangout. I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific coder himself, and now a newly made reviewer, Zealeus!
And we're here once again by Charlie's front hairdo.
Woo! Yeah!
And tonight with our cans of Stella Artois. The
Extreme close-up!
premium Belgium lager of awesomeness. And before night, I can honestly say I've never had the 14.9 ounce cans. Basically, for the same price as 12 ounce cans, you get 10 of the 15 ounce cans, which equals more ounces of beer. So therefore, I recommend getting these, and it is a glorious.
The man's using his amazing education.
It has come to use tonight for drinking Stella.
Okay,
it's important.
So I want to get one thing out of the way, and I know this
just one.
Well, I want to get one thing out of the way, and then we can get really into the broadcast.
Charlie has a king.
No shit, but that's not what I was. Okay, so there is a huge scandal that's going on across the internet, and I want to touch on it briefly. And if Zealeus chooses to, he can throw in his 2 cents as well.
But I have no idea where this is going.
All right, so here's the huge scandal. There is an individual who apparently has been revealed as an individual who basically, for good press with her game, she traded sexual favors.
Huh.
Now,
I don't know if I want to even touch that one. You know?
Exactly. So I do want everyone to know that we are aware of it, but this is something that is a very, very touchy subject. And as a reviewer, it kind of hurts our credibility because you have to think, okay, so are the games that have been reviewed, are they actual, or have they been, a little enticement?
Basically, you hope that you read a video game review, you hope that there is a level of impartiality, and that there's no conflict of interest in reviewing the video game, being it favors of any kind, being it monetary or otherwise.
That's the other thing. All the confusion, I'm going to call it some big wigs, and if they want to come after me, sure. I would love the press.
You know where to find Charlie every Thursday night.
Ultraconfusion.com. Wait, hold on. It's this one right here. Okay?
Not my head. The sign.
That address right there. Okay, so we're not IGN. We're not GameSpot. We're not paid by sponsors to give really good reviews.
Or to even do reviews of a game specifically.
We do. If you've noticed, we do a couple AAA titles, but that's because we actually pay for them.
We play, yeah. And for me, it's usually like 10 years after the game's been out.
Zealeus is a bargain bin gamer.
Yes.
So is Jesse.
Yes.
I must have at launch date, and then I suffer through it if it's a shit game, and I dread the fact I just spent $60, $70 on the game.
I did that with Diablo 3, and after that, I'm like, screw that.
Or you pay $90 for a collector's edition of a game that is so bad that the company behind it has to give you a bunch of free games and then allows you to basically be on the ground floor to reinvent the wheel because the game was that bad.
And you still have not played the free game that you got in return of that.
And those 2 games that I
well,
don't even know where they are now.
Well, I know one of them. I have one of them on Steam. That replaced that game. But it's okay.
Anyways, just so that everyone knows what that game is, we're talking about Elemental. If you don't know what it is, Google it. You'll find it.
No, it's Fallen Enchantress or something like that.
Oh, it's
that's like the
still
remake.
Elemental, Fallen Enchantress.
That's like the remake.
War of Magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so
which ironically, of course, was named after the whole Fallen whatever it is from the Civilization 4 series because they hired that modder to basically remake Elemental.
Yes.
Anyways, you're about to say.
Okay. So let's get it out of the way right here, right now. The only compensation that Ultra Confusion gets is the free review codes for the indie games, and then we beat the shit out of it. You should see. I mean, just look at my fucking reviews. I mean, I'm so all over the board. Yes, a lot of them are 8s and 9s. That's because I physically pick them out. Well, not physically, but I take time out of my schedule and pick out the games that I want to review
With your eyeballs.
with my eyeballs and my mouse clicking. And
Mad
then,
skills over here.
and then I reach out to a developer and say, hey, can we review your game for you? And
so you're to kind of have an idea. When you look at that game, it's like, hey, this is a game I'm probably interested in.
yes.
Versus, somebody being like, hey, will you review My Pony 4?
Okay. If someone comes to me with the game, I will look at it and I'll tell you either I'm going to review it or I'm going to try to give you some helpful pointers to make the game playable.
So you'll review my video game, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right. Now I gotta go make one tonight.
There is a team of I think it's like 2 or 3 programmers or developers or something like that. They've created a game for your Nexus 7 tablet called Save the Comet. You're basically a comet that's flying through space, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to use gravitational pull of planets to navigate around. So what you're doing is you're holding down the planet, you're trying to bring it close to the comet. Now if you bring it to the side, it starts spinning the comet to the gravitational pull, and then of course you got to get rid of the planet after a while.
Apparently I played this game and
Like way alpha.
I really don't remember.
Okay. Well,
I
anyways,
believe you though. You're a smart man.
So that the developer came to us and asked, and so I'm going to be reviewing that game.
Right on.
So with that being said, we're not going to breach the topic of special incentives for reviews. We're just going to keep moving on.
Charlie is a good man, but I will accept favors. Just saying.
Oh, for the Lord.
I'm not saying what kind of favors. Could be monetary, preferably, so I can pay rent next month. That's just me. But I only do like one review a year, so there's not really a whole lot of impartiality I actually have to worry about. That's
and the issue is that almost everything comes through me.
Yeah, and Charlie will not accept bribes in any way, shape, or form. So you're kind of screwed.
Okay, so I want to move on to another topic. It's been bugging me all day. An individual basically came out and said that the vast majority of reviewers out there aren't true journalists because reviewing isn't true journalism. It's just fluff.
Okay.
So I want to. Okay. So I kind of understand to a point. There are those individuals who basically rip off another review and throw a couple things in, and yes, that is fluff. But it's when you play a game, if you're doing it right to review it, you're investigating all the ins and outs of the game. It's not fluff. You're actually researching. And researching leads to journalism. Zealeus.
It sounds like somebody trying to protect their old school turf. It's just like journalists who don't want to consider bloggers journalists because basically it stampedes onto their realm and then it can cut into their profits. In the end, I think that's really what it comes down to. Is it's basically the old guard of whatever industry it is.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the game review old guard is like 10 years old, but still, it's there.
Yep.
But I think that's really more so what it is. It's people are trying to protect their own turf and domain, so that us newbie people can't come encroaching on their turf. It's the high and mighty. Oh yes, the way I do it is better than yours, so therefore you're wrong. That's really what it comes down to. I think this is the first I've heard of it, but that's kind of my take. Is who cares if you're technically a journalist? What does that even mean? Does it mean you went to school to get your journalism degree and you got some special certificate saying, I'm a journalist, go me, I rock? So for me, it's kind of like whatever. If people, and that's part of the internet too, because let's face it, even like the real journalist sites like Fox News and CNN and any of those.
That's not real journalism. It's propaganda. No, but seriously.
They all have the slant. I mean, it's pretty obvious, some are right-wing, some are left-wing. Each has their own slant on what the news is in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, look at it, it's like, okay, what's the true journalism? Is gaming really any different? I mean, everybody has their own slant on the news or games or anything to start with. So it's kind of calling the pot kettle black, really, is what it comes down to.
Well, okay, so it's weird that they're attacking a specific piece of the reviewers out there. They're not calling into question the news that you're reporting, even though, and Ultra Confusion is guilty of this as well. a lot of the information that is shared on sites like us, though we have completely toned it down since like a year and a half ago, is the regurgitation of information from one site, and then when you you just a little bit, and boom, there's your news. I definitely used to hit up Joystick, GameSpot, Giant Bomb, a bunch of other sites to try to find the news headlines, because at the time we were still trying to be that juggernaut. We were trying to be one of the big boys before we actually learned how to crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the vast majority of the news that you're going to get in Alter Confusion, yes, there's less of it, but is more specifically tuned to the indie development scene. Now, I do want to apologize to a lot of individuals out there who are developers who are kickstarting projects. I am not going to broadcast every single Kickstarter project. It's got to be something that's cool, that's interesting, that catches my eye for me to talk about it. And sometimes I just don't have the time to actually research it. And usually those Kickstarters, however you want, whatever they are, they don't give me the information until they're in like 12 days from the end. And then when I have time, like 4 days later, it's just not even worth putting it up, because either they've already met their goal and they don't need my help, or they've gotten that my help wouldn't help at all because they're so far away from their goal.
And I just don't really give a shit about Kickstarter.
Well, there you go.
I'm like, whatever, Kickstarter. Woo! So, yeah, I'm not a good person for Kickstarter, because I just don't quite get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but to me, it's just like, I'll pass. That's just me. To each their own tune on the flute.
Flute?
Yeah, it's a flute and a tune. You know,
Sure.
you can play.
Whatever, dude, whatever. All right, so anyways, yeah, I think it's total crap that someone calls out people whose primary stuff on their websites are being reviewers and not calling them journalists.
It's just, it's picking a fight where like one's not necessary.
It's like the catcher's not a pitcher.
Really, you don't say.
Could he pitch? Probably.
A catcher probably has had to pitch before because of injury or something, or like a 24-inning game.
I remember watching Wade Boggs. It's going to date me, but Wade Boggs pitching an inning.
Yeah, Mr. Boston.
Anyways, okay, so let's move on to something a little bit more exciting, a little bit more upbeat.
Oh, do tell, do.
We do have, well, we do have a couple games. There it is. Oh yeah, the box. We do have a couple games that we're excited that we're going to have a chance to look at. One of them is Magnetic by Nature. If you tuned in early to this Twitch feed, you would have seen Zealeus screaming
cursing
a
many
lot,
times.
playing Magnetic by Nature.
But the thing, like, so, okay, so here's the gist of Magnetic by Nature.
Go for it.
Basically, you can do 3 things in the game. Well, 4, I guess. You can run from side to side. You can jump. And your guy's magnetic. So you can either pull to a magnetic thing or you can push away to a magnetic thing. So it's like a lot of puzzle platformers. You're trying to get from point A to point B. And there's a lot of kind of physics and gravity, and slingshotting yourself. So you might pull yourself towards a ball up here, and then you have to kind of get past it, your trajectory, then you're going to push off with like your anti-magnetism. And so I was cursing because it's like you're trying to get it right and you just miss it. But the thing with me with the game, with the cursing, it's like, okay, some games just kind of piss you off. And it's like, I'm just cursing because I'm pissed off. This game I was cursing just because I'm like, oh, so close, I can get this next time. So like, it was the good kind of cursing, where it's like, I'm going to get this, yo. Mofo, I'm getting this. So that's like how I felt about the game. So it wasn't like I'm pissed off at the game. But it's like, I'm going to get this. It's like the puzzle that I want to complete. Now if they have for the added bonus, then you have this hard, so it's like you have the finish line, which pretty much most platformers have. But then you also have like the extra hidden puzzle piece up here in this quadrant. That's like 8 times harder to get to than the finish line. So that's where it that's really hard to get to, and some are much easier than others. But the one thing I will say, playing the Ouya, the Ouya controller is shit. I mean, it is. It's just having played it for probably a grand total of an hour. Just that tactile feedback of the joystick and the triggers versus what I'm used to on the Xbox 360 or even the freaking PlayStation 2 controller that's 20 years old.
You can sync a PlayStation or Xbox controller to
I would highly recommend that for Ouya because you can just feel the cheapness in that controller. And for a game because magnetism, whatever the game is called.
Magnetic by nature.
Thank you. Magnetic by nature definitely requires some very precise controls. Because it's literally a split second from pulling towards the star and repelling off of it. So you have to get that precise. And it was not uncommon for me to lose because the trigger was sticking or something going on. So,
yeah. I need to look at that controller. Something's wrong with one of the triggers.
It just felt like, not even that, it just felt like it wasn't as well built.
It's the pull trigger. I don't know what's going on with it. It kept locking in.
So that was a little bit of frustration. But overall, if you like platformers, it was a fun game. Yeah.
Another game that we have on tap, and I want to be able to try to pronounce it right. So,
Are you gonna look it up in the phonetic dictionary of gaming?
No, I'm just gonna look at my email.
Or he can look in his email, which has a phonetic pronunciation.
Okay, Heroes and Legends, Conquerors of Kalar? Yep, Kalar. Strategy role-playing game. We'll be reviewing that one. We'll be reviewing... Damn it, that's Magnetic by Nature.
So, like Charlie Lorks, a game that I will not be reviewing, but playing this weekend, hopefully, Arcade. I just got an invite for the closed beta. It's closed beta number 4 this weekend. But I'm pretty sure there's probably a non-disclosure agreement associated with the beta. But I still plan, hopefully playing that this weekend. It is being published by Triad Worlds, the creators of such games as Defiant and Rift. But it's actually being produced by some foreign company, I forget who. Some company I heard of before. So I'm hoping to give that a whirl this weekend and see how it is, but I will not really be able to allow to talk about it on the podcast because I don't feel like breaking NDAs. Did you find a game you're going to be reviewing?
Artiana and the Harpy Feather, and also I just got through Detective Grimoire. I'm actually going through. I'm cutting up the playthrough right now, and then I'll load it online, and then I'll write the review. So that's coming very, very soon. But I highly recommend that you play it. It is a short game. You can get through it in about 2 hours, but it is a fun, silly game where you are Detective Grimoire and you're trying to solve the mystery of a death of a gentleman by the name of Remington, who apparently has been killed by the elusive swamp creature Boggy.
Ooh, scary.
Who apparently has not been seen in the past the past 60 years, but came out of hiding out of nowhere and killed Remington.
And you figure out all the secrets behind this in the game?
You get to talk to everybody that's there, unlock all their secrets, find clues and all that stuff, and it's a very well done game. I truly hope that we can find that there's another one. Now, if I unfortunately have to run away really quick because I have to solve a family crisis at this moment, my son cannot find his stuffed animal that he requires to go to sleep. So Zealeus is going to keep you company for just a little bit.
Which is a terrible idea because I am not the rambler that Charlie is over here. I'm going to go back to playing Arcade. As anybody who's ever watched a podcast knows, I am an MMO-aholic. So that's kind of what drew my attention. I've recently been playing Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn and also WildStar. Although I'm kind of probably at the downslope of playing both of those games. WildStar was a fun MMO, but I played Final Fantasy XIV pretty hardcore for a couple of months, and I think I was just kind of MMO'd out a little. WildStar seemed like it was something new and inventive in the genre, but I think I was so close to the coattails of putting so many hours into Final Fantasy XIV where it just kind of was like another MMO with a massive time sink. I don't know if I can handle this. But on the other hand, then you got Arcade, which is closed beta, so I'm guessing there's, characters aren't going to carry over from one beta to the next or something to the gold. It's one of those things where it's kind of nice to get to play to see if it's a game I want to play and the live version. I have checked out some of the online videos on YouTube of the game already because the game kind of caught my attention. It seems pretty cool. It seems very MMO-esque. If you played an MMO, you've played part of Arcade already. Congratulations. There's leveling and open world combat. But there's other things that are supposed to make it really cool. Like, apparently it's fairly sandboxy and that the players really control, especially at the higher levels, what's going on in the game. And the gamer and the actual players have a lot of control over the economy and the content and stuff like that. I guess a high fantasy RPG, kind of like Eve, maybe? I don't even really know. I guess I'll find out. Hopefully I'll get to try it, give it a whirl. Apparently my beta invite, I guess Charlie is looking for stuff, so I'm going to look up for what I can actually play. Let's see here, blah, blah, blah. What's got mail? Adventure begins tomorrow, Friday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. And it goes through Wednesday, actually, till 10 a.m. So that's when I will give it a whirl and see how it goes. So I'll try to install that overnight tonight, so when I get home tomorrow after work, I can give it a whirl. XL Games. That's the company who's actually making the game. So I just found that out. Very exciting. Charlie made it back. I guess the crisis has been averted.
Yes.
I was worried there.
The stuffed animal has been found. I'm back.
The world goes on. I'm glad I did not accidentally eat it for dinner because I was hungry. So yes, I was just talking about MMOs and stuff because I was talking about Arcade.
Yeah.
And how maybe a little bit MMO'd out because I played Final Fantasy 14 and WildStar, just maybe a little too much. So give this a roll.
Are you back to playing WildStar?
I play a little bit, but as I was going to say, I'll mention to you, I think maybe my problem is I played Final Fantasy 14 so much that when I got to WildStar, I was already kind of maybe a little bit MMO'd out already. Because it is a massive time sink to level up your character and all that stuff.
Right.
And it was kind of like, damn it, another massive time sink for leveling up another character. So I think if it was fresh in my mind of playing MMO, I probably enjoyed it a lot more than I am.
Gotcha.
So I think it's just maybe I played a little too much. So I'm kind of taking a little bit of MMO break at the moment. Except for the beta of Arcade.
Well, I can understand. I mean, you put so much time and effort into a game where you're actually a force to be reckoned with, and then you switch over to another game where you accidentally walk in the wrong world, your ass is grass.
I think it's part because in Final Fantasy 14 I was pretty damn well geared, if I could say so myself. I'm pretty good at the game. And then you're right, to step into WildStar and kind of be low man the totem pole again, it's like, oy.
Yeah.
And knowing kind of how far you have to go in the game.
Well, you're also, the other thing is you don't also have, if you're in a guild or a clan or corporation or wherever the heck you want to call them, so yourself, you're starting again without a support system. So there's not like an easy way to speed level.
And honestly, part of it is in Atlanta, I just have a lot less free time in Mankato. Between coming out here Thursdays, we hung out last week, I got my family in town. There's a lot more stuff going on in real life than Mankato, so I think that's part of it too. It's just a little bit less gaming time, maybe than I had before, which isn't a bad thing. I know Charlie's heart probably weeps at that fact. I know, less gaming time, how can you go on with life? But somehow I'll trudge on through the misery.
Yes, sorry, I had to find the can that's not empty.
It's very important that you don't drink out of... You don't want to drink... Unfortunately, air has no alcohol content, I hear.
Oh, no, there's alcoholic air, man.
That's some good stuff, yo. Get straight to your lungs.
All you gotta do is, like, open up a bottle of Jack or Everclear and just go, oh, it burns!
One of those will make me puke.
Oh, yeah, no, I won't even touch this stuff. I don't touch liquor at all.
Dude wants... Well, unless it's with OJ.
I don't do that.
I've seen you with Kettle and OJ.
I don't do that anymore.
I bet if I got a glass of OJ and a glass of Kettle,
you'd be drinking alone, my friend.
I don't know. I don't know if I could resist.
No, I've had too many bad experiences with too many screwdrivers. And that's a little too much information for people out there who are fans of Charlie.
And you haven't had bad experiences with beer?
nothing in comparison to liquor.
Fair enough. So, moving on back to video games!
Yeah,
Video games!
Okay, so there's this game called Halfway. I've talked about it several times. I apologize, but I am seriously stuck in this one spot, and I'm almost ready to throw in the towel and go, okay, well, I got to review it from here. But I'm like, I know, I could just, just a little bit more to beat this fucking level.
I hear you. That definitely happens.
It's terrible.
It's a terrible feeling to know you have lost against a 1 or a 0. Or a combination thereof. Those bits, man. Those bits are dangerous mofos.
So, okay, I'm just going to say this real quick.
Real quick in Charlie speak, it's just going to go on for a little while.
Shut up, dude. So here's the deal.
Charlie
I understand. Okay, so it's a turn-based strategy game where ammo, inventory space for each individual, because you have a squad of 4.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
Is a rare commodity. But now you're going up against dudes who literally have to put in 3 freaking clips to knock down. And they're just like, they basically go, oh, I barely hit you. Oh, there goes all your shield. I'm just like, give me something that can blow the crap out of them.
Was like going back and grinding help?
No, there's no grinding. You can get optional missions to gain more gear and stuff like that, but there's no leveling up. It's just you have the potential of gaining better armor, better gun.
Gotcha.
Better armor, better gun.
I'm afraid I can't help you.
I know.
And those type of RTSs aren't my strength.
Well, it's like XCOM, but XCOM you can level up your guys.
This is true.
If you use them. I have XCOM somewhere. The new one. Not the new one, but like the one that basically said, XCOM is back!
Enemy Unknown.
Is that the one? I don't know.
I'm very sure it is, yeah.
Anyways, I played that game. That was awesome. I sucked at it.
I heard good things about it.
My problem is that I am the Rambo character. I like to just run into the middle of everything and just go, especially in Halfway and in XCOM. That is the biggest no-no you could do. In XCOM, you'll get the guy killed, like permanently. In Halfway, just means you lose the guy for that segment of the battle. But the problem is you've already got such a small squad, and usually it's my biggest, baddest dude who goes down first. So I am totally SOL. Every single time, it's my puny dude who's still alive. I'm not going to win. So I just run right into the middle of the room and go for it.
And then you get obliterated with your little guy.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. All right. We have now breached the 30-minute mark, so I believe we're going to have to wrap up the recorded portion, but we will continue the Twitch portion just for a little bit longer.
Just a little while.
Just a little while.
While so Charlie can drink his beverage of choice.
Yeah.
So it might not be for long.
No, not really. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure to give you this amazing information that came out of our brains and then out of our mouths. So, please, stay tuned. No, stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned for another Something Slightly Different in the very, very near future. And, of course, next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the usual, the amazing Thursday Night Hangout again. So, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you very shortly.
And it's 7 Central Time. Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Central Time doesn't exist!
Ha 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 ha! It will always exist in my heart of hearts.